It is now time to hit social media for cash tags. For that, we'd like to welcome in Landon Swan, the co-founder of LikeFolio.com, and we have Jenny Horn, fast market contributor, with us as well to talk some Pinterest. Landon brought some good information on Apple, so I'm really interested to hear what he has on Pinterest.
Me too. So Pinterest is a stock that, of course, has earnings post-market today, but it's up around 30% since its IPO back in April. But we're not seeing that as of lately. The stock is down something of 30% since just August alone. So this is a company to me that is very 2012. It's shocking to me that they IPO'd this year. So Landon, I'm really curious to see what your data says on Pinterest.
Yeah, they may have done better to IPO a little earlier, but they're here now. So I think they IPO'd around 19, and now they're trading around 25, got as high as 37. So they've been in, there's been quite a range that they've been trading in. One thing that we look at is just total mentions. How much are people talking about Pinterest? And you can see it's actually growing. It's up over the last few years. I think it was higher in 2012, to Jenny's point, but it's actually doing really well now. And so the stock is off, but we're seeing very close to all-time highs as far as people talking about Pinterest, talking about using it, people talking about signing up for it. So that's very good for them. Another thing that we like to look at on our other chart is when we're looking at people discovering new things on Pinterest. And so that's essentially when they believe that they're receiving value from Pinterest. So they've found something new, and that actually was kind of flatlining from 2015 to 2017, and now we're seeing almost double those numbers. And so people are getting a lot more value out of Pinterest, which is a sort of a longer term metric that we're looking at, saying that these consumers are, they value what they have in Pinterest, and they're receiving a lot of value from it. So they're going to continue to use it, and they're going to continue to tell their friends about it. And so this is a big one, especially for women. I think that about 50% of new signups are men, but the large majority of Pinterest current user base is women, especially in the 25 to 55 age range. And so they're getting a lot of value from it, and they're using it to plan big life moments like weddings and designing a new house and things like that. So the high increase of value is good for them long term for sure.
Yeah, I almost had to come after you, Landon. Like you were saying, only women are on this platform, but there's guys on there. I've heard Alex hits on Pinterest once in a while.
Tom means that Tom's on there. That's what he's trying to say.
No.
He was hinting at that.
But Landon, as far as your data shows, is it reflective of people buying things off of Pinterest or just getting ideas? That's one of the key things I would look at with a platform like this is people get ideas, then go somewhere else and buy it.
No, I think that's great. They get ideas. That's key for bringing people back. But obviously for the company, you got to have them clicking on ads and buying things. I know that from an advertiser's perspective, for every dollar they spend on advertising, they're getting $3 or $4 back in revenue. So it's definitely good for advertisers. Fantastic. The ratio's not quite as good as a Facebook or Instagram, but it is growing, so that's good for Pinterest. And people don't usually talk on social media about, hey, I saw a great ad on Pinterest and clicked on it. So we have a hard time measuring that. What we're looking for are people talking about the company overall, signing up for the service, and are they perceiving the fact that they're getting good things out of it. And so all of those are pointing north, pointing bullish. But this is a very young company. It just IPO'd not that long ago, as Jenny mentioned. And so it's got a huge range of where it's traded from 19 to 37. We're sort of in the lower end, sort of in the middle of that, around 25 now. So it's tough to find what the true value of this company is right now. But long term, it's looking decent or good.
Yeah, and I have to say, so I did some research this morning because I was so curious how they actually generate revenue, because this is a company similar. It's a social media company is how I kind of look at it, but they make their money all through targeted ads, like you just mentioned, Landon. So that's interesting to me because I went on Pinterest this morning and I saw that you can see which ads are targeted. I've never really noticed that until this morning. So
now all your other social media feeds, are anything you clicked on in there are going to be in your feeds.
Yeah, of course. So our first tweet is from Kelvin, who says, Pinterest has a utility for people to explore and discover. I think it's pretty cool, and many businesses find Pinterest incredibly useful for generating leads. Not a shareholder yet. So I also did some research about Pinterest business accounts, which exist, which is pretty cool because, similar to other social media stocks, they have a huge business presence. So Landon, I'm not sure if you have anything on that.
We don't, Jenny. Thank you for that lead, though. But no, we don't have anything on the business accounts. But again, just overall, user base is growing. I think that's really important. I think they're up over 300 monthly active users. So they're on their way up, despite the fact that they're, it is, I guess, perception is it's a sort of a 2012 company, but they're growing and they're doing well. Actually, I think 5 out of 6 women between 25 and 55 use Pinterest, which is kind of mind-blowing to me because I don't use it, Tom. I know you're on there all the time, but I'm not a big Pinterest user.
I have to say, Pinterest is cool. I used it to train for the triathlon. So it's not just like for weddings and random things like that. So, don't knock it till you try it, okay?
Oh, got it.
Okay. So our next tweet is from Brian, who says, what is the lowest stock that you believe will 10 times over the next 10 years? I'll go first, Pinterest. So this was shocking to me how many people were tweeting about Pinterest this morning, but also tweeting about it so positively. I mean, people really like the stock. So, I don't know if you have anything on that.
Yeah, so really I guess the gist of this here, Landon, is that they believe, this user on Twitter believes this is the lowest risk stock that they believe has 10x upside. And, that we'll find out, I guess, over the next 10 years. But I do want to come back to your second chart regarding their discovery mentions, or the ones that you're tracking here, because I think that the big difference between something like a Pinterest and maybe a Snap is that you may be going on to Pinterest with the intent of locating something you may purchase at either that point in time or sometime in the future. So those targeted ads to me seem a little bit more, maybe useful. Whereas something like Snapchat, you're going on there to see what your friends did last night when they went to the Halloween party or whatever it may be, and you might just click through the ads that are coming through. So you may not have any insight into that on your data, but I think that piece of this is, to what you're saying, the most important bullish case, if that's what I'm taking away from what you're saying. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah. I think if you tried to create a chart for like this value discovery for Pinterest, if you tried to create a chart for that for Snapchat, it would look way different. Ads on Snapchat, I think, are more intrusive or counter to what you're going on the platform for. Whereas with Pinterest, I think you almost welcome ads because you're searching for ideas around some topic. And if it's an advertisement or if it's something that someone that you follow is posting, there's really no difference to you because it's targeted towards what you went there for. And so that's very different with Snapchat. I think that's one of the problems with Snapchat. And anytime you have a company that gains revenue by annoying its users, that's not good. Where Pinterest can gain revenue by helping their users, and that's what this chart shows. That's a great point, Alex.
Yeah, Landon, I think that you summed that up well. So I guess the final closing point here I want to leave on then and get your take on is you have a stock that's came down from 36.83. It's now currently trading 25.03. Your discovery mentions have doubled over the last couple of years. To me, that seems like a positive. But like we said, this is a fairly recent IPO. I know that you guys like to track these for a little bit longer before you really have a take. But do you have a take? Is it bullish leaning into this one? Or are you guys waiting on the sidelines on Pinterest?
If, again, we like to kind of wait a little bit and let the market figure out what the true valuation of a company is. But if you're forcing me to take a position, I would lean bullish, especially longer term because of that value prop that we're seeing. That's going to bring people back and it's going to get them to share with their friends. And so on this earnings report, I would lean bullish for sure. I think longer term, though, is the more stronger conviction bullish call.
All right, Landon, well said. Thanks for joining us as always. And Jenny, thanks to you as well for the Pinterest insight, because I know me and Tom are not experts on this platform.
Not quite.
Yeah.